Hello. Oftentimes, we see a lot of citizens struggling with government schemes, and they are not able to figure out, and they have a lot of doubts on some government schemes. And for example, this is the JNK um, property tax rules, and none of the citizens are going to read this long document. This is part of the document, by the way, and they have a ton of doubts. How do I do this? How do I do that? And there are little bit of intricacies between these small points. Like you have these conditions, and top of that you have another condition, and so it's not very clear to citizens on the schemes itself, how they can be benefited from that scheme. So that is the problem statement that we were thinking about, and we came up with a solution using AI and large language models. So we trained for the purpose of his demo we trained our large language model, a transformer based model, on this part of the JNK property tax rules, and we have built a web UI to which is able to accept some input questions from users, from citizens. uh, so I can put my doubts here, and it will give me a natural language response like a human to those doubts, and those that model is trained on this, so it will be real time. Right. So let's go through this document, and let's try to ask some questions. Just ask some. We'll just ask some questions from this document. Uh, and I haven't gone through this yet, so I'll just keep going through this document. And as I face any doubt, I'll just ask the question on the input prompt, right? And then we can see this working. So let's just ask what this document is about. So it's processing the question. And it gives us the answer that this document is about JNK property tax rules. It outlines rules and regulations for assessment of property tax, age, school definitions, and a little bit of summary of this. Right, that's all fine. Now let's go through. Okay, what is build up area here? Build up area highlighted. Let's ask what does build up area means. So build up area means total area covered by building, highest building above this level, and includes all the covered area like basement, mezzanine, flooring, balcony, etc., etc. Right, and it also gives you the actual part of the document that contains that. Now, I can ask further questions. I should be able to ask further questions on this. Does build up area covers this build up area includes basement area, right? It says here, and includes all covered area like basement. So let's try to ask this and see what it gives. Yes, build up area includes the basement area, right? So this, I have cleared my doubt on this. Okay, this was my doubt as a user, and I got it cleared. We can ask any of the questions around this. Let's see. Residential building. What is a residential building? What is a residential building? Residential building is a building used or constructed or adopted to be wholly for human habitation, including garages. Uh, so it's basically giving this definition to me. We can also ask this, like, does residential buildings also include garages? Now it's interesting that I have a typo here, so let's see what it will, whether it will identify it correctly or not. So it doesn't care if there is a typo, like it gives us the correct answer, like yes, there are garages included in the residential buildings, right? And similarly, we can ask for any of the uh, okay, this is very interesting. So there is a there is a deadline mentioned here. The property tax penalty or interest payable uh, shall be paid in two equal installments, and the first one is before this. So let's try to clear our doubt around this. So the property tax penalty or interest. Okay, I'll try to ask, like, what is the deadline of the first installment, payment of first installment of property tax? When should I pay the first installment of property tax? Uh, Alright. It's a little bit vague, as in I'm not asking the actual date for it. So let's see what it will give. Okay, so it gives me that is due on April of 15th, and I think it got it from somewhere inside of this document itself, uh, which might be mentioned here, like the first installment. What we can ask is, like, what is the second installment? What is the deadline? What is the deadline of the of payment of the second installment of, of the property tax? As giving me the second installment is due by 30th November. So it gave me from this time correctly, like this is the second installment, and this is the deadline for this. So I can, if my doubt is not fully clear, like we can ask further questions on this. uh, is the second installment due by December? Is the second installment of property tax? So let's say this is my doubt, and I haven't read the document. Let's see what. So it will give me correct, like, no, that's not correct. The second installment is due by 30th November of the each financial year. So this way we can clear all the doubts, and uh, even if I have heard or read some incorrect information, it will correct me, like this is not correct, or you should you can even ask me further about it, like we can configure our model to give a more verbose output, that will be more human friendly. We can also ask for the penalty of late payment of property tax. So it says here that it is 2% of tax liability. So let's ask, like, what is the penalty if I fail to pay property tax? See, it says if you fail to pay, you will be charged interest of 2% per month on the property tax liability, right? If I can give a prompt as, like, will it be 5%, so it will correct me accordingly and say no, this is 2% of liability. And similarly, I can ask for any of the questions around here. Let's see if we have some more interesting questions. Okay, this property tax rate 10% of the annual taxable value of the property for residential properties. It defines two different property tax rate. These both of these paragraph are basically the same, just the difference is 10 and 12%, which is slightly confusing to me as a human itself. But let's just ask this: what is the property tax rate for residential property? Just a simple question: what is the property tax rate for a residential property? So it says 10%. So 10% is mentioned here. The same line is mentioned with 12% also here, which I think it ignored, which is fine. I guess I am also confused with these two lines. But let's go to this table, and this will be a little bit more interesting, I think, if it gives the correct answers from the table. So let's say unit area rate is residential and limits as per circle rate. So we can ask what is the unit area rate for residential property, or unit area rate, and let's see if it will give the whole table, or what will it will give first, and then we can improve our prompt. As a general user, the user interface will be like they'll try to ask something, either they get the answer, or if they don't get the answer they can keep asking more, right? So let's say as a user I'll just ask what is the unit area rate of a residential property. Wow, it just gives like, it knows that the unit area residential properties determines by the limits as per the circle rate, right? We haven't told, like, this document doesn't say it, it just infers it from this table. And for example, if the circle rate is more than this, the unit area rate is this much, right? So you can ask more specific questions on, like, what is the unit area rate of residential property if my uh, up to 80 lakhs per panel. How should I ask this? We are asking for unit area rate. Let's just ask for this up to 80 lakhs per canal. So ideally it should show me this. This is the unit area rate. So it says is 1.75 per square feet, which is the correct per month. So yep, this is the demo for this, and we can improve these results. There are a lot of ways to improve these results, although I think these are pretty good. These can be improved by pre-processing the data better. We can fine-tune our model better, and so this is just a demo which shows the capabilities, what is capable of. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time.